Hi, I'm Ben Quiggle, editor of Woodall's Campground Magazine, and I am chatting with David Fulton, the founder of RV PowerGate. Correct, David? You're the
That's
founder,
correct.
right? Yeah,
Mhm.
and the dash station, and I guess David, just to start a little bit, maybe talk a little bit about when you guys founded RV PowerGate. It's been like 2 or 3 years now, right? Maybe
Yeah,
a little bit longer.
yeah. Thanks, Ben. Yeah, so 2 or 3 years ago, I happened to marry into the campground business. Al Johnson is
Yeah.
my father-in-law. Don't hold it against me. But I was at one of his campgrounds,
Yeah.
and I have an electric vehicle, and I said, Al, I just saw an electric vehicle plugged into your campground along with the RV, and I think that's a great idea, and I think I'm going to do that very same thing next summer. And he just turned ghost white, and his son Eric turned ghost white. He says, "Don't do that." And in fact, if you want to invent something we really need, invent a way to prevent people from doing that because it will blow up our pedestals and burn our wires, etc. So
Yep.
that was the challenge, is to actually develop a way to protect campground owners from even well-meaning people like me with EVs that were going to plan to plug in both. So it's been 2 or 3 years. Went through probably honestly 10 or 15 versions trying them out to make sure it worked for as many pedestals as possible, and it now
Yeah.
does. So yeah, it's been 2 or 3 years, and it started with an innocent, yeah, I'm just going to bring my EV and RV, and then a challenge, and this is the product that meets that challenge.
Yeah, so we have your website pulled up. It's rvpowergate.com. And you can kind of see there's a little video here that kind of demonstrates the product. I've seen it, in person a few times. So it's designed to where, obviously the thing's going, no matter which outlet you're on, the other outlet's blocked. So
Yep.
you can't use the other outlet. And then it looks
Stupid
like you have.
simple solution. Sorry, I'd interrupted
Yep,
you. Go ahead.
yep. And then it looks like you have a little little sticker there that mentions, that they have that on there and why it's there. So
Exactly. It's
people
meant to
don't
do
get.
the work. It's meant to, like, the campground owners don't want to spend their time or the maintenance policing people at their
Yeah,
campground, and so the sticker does the job, saying this is you can plug into one but not both, and this is not rated for an EV.
yeah,
Yeah, it's the $30 simple solution insurance policy to prevent people from blowing up your pedestals. That's it.
yeah. I guess and you have a lot of testimonials here. It looks like a lot of KOAs, which Al Johnson, for those who don't know, operates a number of KOAs, or used to before he retired, and then he was also on the Ojai board of directors and was chairman for a while. But you obviously have some KOA presence here, and then some other independent resorts. But it looks like everybody loves the product. I've ran into a couple people at conferences that have mentioned your product and how they like it. I guess what is this flipper thing made out of? What do you make that out of?
That's out of hardened plastic.
Okay.
So it's UV resistant plastic. And a question going in, and a fair question from some of the owners was, is this going to hold up to
Yep.
vandalism? And I was at the Ojai conference, actually, and my very first customer came up unsolicited, said this product is great, and it has not been vandalized, and it is totally weathered all the seasons I've had. So unsolicited testimonial. So yeah, it's hardened plastic that's UV resistant. The sticker is also UV resistant. I've got a couple of different types of screws. If you want completely tamper resistant screws that are up to code, I can send you those. If you want just kind of quick and dirty hex screws, I can send you those too.
Yeah, and I notice on the specs and install page here, if you go down, Thomas Schmidt, whose family owns a KOA in Pennsylvania near Gettysburg, I believe, has a
Yeah.
video here. We're not going to click on it now, but obviously there's a video here where you can watch. Although the installation doesn't look too difficult, a lot of park
No, it's
owners have
There's a
construction
Yep.
skills.
Yeah, I
So,
didn't even ask Thomas to do that. He just did that. He sent
yep.
it to me. So God bless him. Thank you, Thomas. No, there's a and there's even at its there's a campground that I believe actually had a fire at their campground. A Tesla and an
Mhm.
RV plugged in at the same time.
Okay.
The next three or four RVs actually caught fire. So they then
Wow.
put these in all of their so they ordered 350 of them, and it took
Got it.
them with an electrician doing it about 6 minutes per pedestal. That's honestly with the up to code, fully tamper resistant screws. It's actually quicker without those. So I think you could budget like 4 to 7 minutes to install per
Yeah.
per unit.
I think, you mentioned the camper stuff. I think obviously if you get one camper that's completely focused on going around something, they
Totally.
can manage to go around it. I mean, the product is designed to definitely stop people from doing that, but, park owners still kind of have to keep an eye on things too, I guess. So,
Yeah, exactly. Like if they're the 1% of people that are going to come there with a crowbar,
yeah,
like nothing will stop it. But this will stop the vast majority of people, including the people. Again, I'm embarrassed to admit this. I mean, now that I know how these work, I'm embarrassed that I ever felt. But yeah, I kind of thought, just like in my house with two plugs, I got my toaster and my coffee maker. I thought, why couldn't I plug two
yeah.
things in? So I think there's actually a lot of people like me that just don't know better and think that if you've got two open plugs, you can plug anything you want into both of them.
Yeah, and I think, that's an interesting comment because I think when I go to these conferences, the park owners obviously get a little frustrated when people do that. And it's like, well, even for my own perspective, I don't have a lot of electrical system, work. I don't do that work.
Right.
So, when I go to places like, I don't really think about it. Like I
Yeah.
see like two, you could see four outlets there in the video that we had up earlier. I'm thinking, boy, I can plug like four things. I'm
Yeah.
gonna,
And they
I'm gonna
do.
plug everything in.
They do. When I was
So,
again the Ojai conference, I asked one campground owner. He said somebody somebody plugged in an RV and a hot tub. Somehow they plugged a hot
yep,
tub in. Like so, yeah. This stops the madness. They can only plug one thing in. Makes it totally clear. Yeah.
yep. And then I think we wanted to talk a little bit about something else that you've been working on here the last couple years, and you're quite the inventor. It looks like so. The dash station here, which I think you had one of these at a convention that I was at recently, right or not?
Yeah,
Or
yeah, yeah. No, it's this started again at a park maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I was at a park with my kids, and the park was brand new. It was probably a $500,000 park, and I'm like, this park's got everything except for a place for kids just to run
yeah,
fast. Kids love to run. Like you see them out there with their moms and dads with the stopwatch, and nothing existed on the market to do that. So I was just dumb enough to develop it and find people smarter than me to help me build it. And turns out campgrounds are kind of the perfect spot for it because yeah, you can see the portable because
yep.
student kids are there for 2 or 3 days and they just want to run and have fun. So it is. I thought schools would be the big market, and it might still be, but but campgrounds are turning out to be a great spot because they're less than $7,000. So I mean, I do know of people that have upgraded playgrounds at campgrounds, and sometimes it's hundreds of thousands of dollars, which is
Yeah.
nuts. So for $7,000, you can almost guarantee you will keep your campers very happy. Then you can also do some programming around maybe the fastest camper at the campground, and they get a T-shirt or something like that. It can actually help
Mhm.
your programming for not a lot of money.
So the units we see here, those are the permanent units. It looks like it's solar. Is that like solar on
Yep,
top?
and actually, thank you. Yeah, it's super easy to install. You literally just dig 4 holes. It's battery operated with solar, so you don't
Mhm.
need power. You don't need to dig any lines. You just need, it doesn't even have to be a certain distance. It can be anywhere from 10 yards to 40 yards or 50 yards. So it's meant to be super easy for you. Almost guarantee your maintenance team can install it themselves. Every campground I've sold it to, they've done it. Um, yeah, they're
Yeah,
fun.
and then we'll go back to this page. This is more of the portable unit. So this is like something if they didn't want to put it in a permanent spot that they could pull out, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah,
That's the go. That's the go dash. Yeah.
yeah. I guess, and then we'll check out the price. So what's the, you mentioned 7,000. So it's 7,000. That's for what about the Go Dash? How much is
Uh,
this going to be?
the Go Dash is about, what is it, $699? Boy, I should raise that price. Shoot. Why'd you have to put that up there, Ben? So $699 if you want the
Oh,
portable
yep.
version.
Right. Plus shipping. People still got to pay the shipping. So,
Yeah, exactly.
so where do you guys get all this stuff? Like the dash station and the RV PowerGate? Do you guys have a manufacturing place where you make this,
Yeah,
or
good
where does it
question.
come from?
And it's important to notice these are all made here in the U.S. The RV PowerGate is made at a factory in Colorado, and
Okay.
GoDash is also made in Colorado. So they're
Okay.
American made, made locally, with pride. And I would love to start making a dash, dash station for a campground tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah. Well, are you guys working on anything else? Do you got any more inventions that you're
Well, it's
thinking
funny.
about?
One that it's in the fairly well with the dash station. A version that I'm working on in my shop right now that I'm excited about is for zoos. It'll
Okay.
compare your time to that of an animal. Although maybe you could do it
Wow.
at a campground. So Ben, it'll tell you that you ran 12 miles an hour and you're just as fast as a zebra. That's new. But the one I am working on, it's early stages, is for RV owners to help them with the dumping process.
Oh, okay.
Right now, you got to stop. You got to take out your hose. You got to install the hose. You got to connect it, and then you dump, and then you have to reverse it. So, working on a simple product that allows the hose to stay attached, and you actually just swivel out the hose, dump, put it back in, swivel it back out. So, I'm working on that, but I don't have anything to share on that yet. But that's hopefully coming in about a year.
You don't want to give out any trade secrets either, just in case
Well, it's funny. It is. If you ask campers, I think what is the biggest pain in the neck part of going camping? The dumping is a big part of it. So I think we could actually make it a less unpleasant process. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, anything you
that's a
can,
project I'm working on now.
yeah, anything you can do to make lives easier and save people from having to do stuff they don't want to do. So,
Yeah, actually, it might be
well,
good for campground owners too, because right now, I mean, there's pretty long lines sometimes using the dump station. If we can speed up the dumping process by 50%, I think that's good for campground owners too.
yeah. Well, David, we're just tell us the URLs for the two websites again, real quick. And
Yep,
is there like an email people can contact you through as
sure,
well?
sure. RVPowerGate.com is for RV PowerGate, and then
Okay.
the dash station is dash-station.com.
Okay.
And probably the easiest way is honestly my Gmail, davidvfulton@gmail.com.
Okay. And
I'd love to hear from them. What's that?
do you take ideas for inventions through that email
Totally.
too?
Do you have a new one?
No.
I would love to. Yeah, if someone's got an idea, like I think we could do better. It's so fun to come up with stuff. So yeah, please reach out if you've got an idea and you want to talk through it.
All right. Okay. Well, thanks, David, for coming on, and I hope everyone learned some new information. So,
Thank you so much, Ben.
all right. Talk to you later,
Thank
and
you.
I'll see everyone next time.